Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking another look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on here. And it's been kind of a little bit strange over the weekend. And we'll talk about that much more. Obviously, take a look at some high block capital data here too. Be sure to get you up to date on some things here. In fact, why don't we just jump right in, as a matter of fact, kind of see what's going on, because we do have a handful of different things going on. So first and foremost, we have a lot more bids than asks, basically just people trying to buy more than sell at this point, which tells us the bottom is probably close to being in, or people feel like this is a good value, right? It's below the average true range, so that makes sense. We also got a lot more longs opening here today than closing. That's an important factor, as well as the fact that shorts are not really doing all that much here today. So not a lot of shorts are opening. They're kind of just hanging out on the sidelines waiting for the price to likely increase. It feels like we're going to have that. Keep in mind, there's no guarantees on that, but we can say some early longs here still basically break even. And then, of course, if you take a look at some late longs, they're also right there pretty much at break even. But for the most part, we got a lot of shorts here, right at the 26,000 mark, 25.9 in the red. So you got to keep in mind, or no, correction, those are in the green. They're just a little bit profitable. So, you know, some shorts are doing that. It's hard to say if they're going to continue to close their positions or not, but generally speaking, that's kind of the general sense of where things are at in the back end there. Now, on the front end, we want to take a look at a few things here that I think are important. First of all, we've got a CME gap here that hasn't been filled yet. Now, once again, we've talked about this previously, and I sent this, sent these updates on my Twitter, of course, just kind of talking about, the gap that needs to get filled here, because, when you look at it here, you can see that we've opened almost 3% lower than the close on Friday. So it's not a great sign here in this sense. So, be sure to just be mindful of that, because this is a good thing to know as far as how it works. In other words, if we take a look at previous gaps, we can see that a lot of times when there's a gap up, for example, the price will hang out right there at the open as kind of a support or resistance level. Okay, that was a previous resistance. Now this one here, we have this as a support. So the likelihood of the price bouncing from here is higher. But again, the macro doesn't look fantastic on the traditional charts if we look at the big picture. So got some conflicting information there. That being said, that is something we definitely want to pay attention to, of course, but my speculation is that we will see that gap get filled at about 26,500 in the relative near future. It's tried once, made it halfway, likely try again. We haven't made any lower lows yet. That's an important thing. We got to recognize that this ascending trend, while it broke out, it isn't sustaining itself. Okay, we need to close and stay above 25,800, period, no matter how you look at it. A close below 25.8 would be not great. All right, so just bear that in mind. That's something I'm looking forward to seeing here at the end of today's trading day. So what we're seeing here is the money flow index is low. So with the money flowing out of the market, the RSI and the price is dropping with it. Big surprise, the average of the last 14 days of the volume has gone down. Binance shut its doors to the US, for lack of better terms, so you're forced to withdraw your funds by tomorrow, the 13th of June, effectively. And basically, they still allow for you to trade crypto, but they don't allow for you to essentially be able to continue to maintain fiat, for example. You can't withdraw and deposit. That's a pretty big deal for a lot of people. So if you take a look here too as well, another tweet that I sent out, we're looking here at change in market depth in Binance. Ever since the lawsuit occurred, price dropped down significantly. Same thing with USD deposits halted. That was when they notified us. Price has gone down even further. So terrible stuff here in the overall sense of things. So not great in that regard, but it is still, the fact that the price hasn't gone lower than 25,000 is a pretty good sign that we're probably close to the bottom. We just got to have this fear, uncertainty, and doubt dissipate before we see anything further. So take a look here, of course, at the MACD. We're still diverging, of course. RSI is below that. We do have a nice support level here at the 50 and the 200-day EMA. When we look at the moving averages for the SMA, they're a little bit different. We're well below the other three. So the key takeaway here is that we're treading water, but we're not doing extremely well. Okay, so I wouldn't expect a massive increase anytime soon. If there is, it's probably more of a fundamental increase. But we can see in the last 24 hours, we've seen an increase in the money flow. So the money is flowing in essentially to this coin, and that's a good sign on the midterm time frame. We're also still converging on the MACD as well. So in the overall sense of things, this is more positive than negative, but again, the macro is ultimately the biggest deal, and we got to respect the fact that We need a lot more consistency here on the 4-hour. We need to be back up over 50 on the RSI, in my personal opinion, before we have any legs to stand on. MACD is one thing, but being stuck under that resistance right there at about 26,000 even is a difficult place to be. So we're currently range bound between 25.3 and 26 even for the moment. I don't see that changing until we can close above 26, or at the very least 25,800. So taking a look at the 1-hour, let's go ahead and summarize here and call it a day. We can see we're still within the cloud. Another 24 hours from now, if the price goes sideways and up a little bit, we should be in good shape to be able to see some type of bullish signs. So those of you who are part of my swing trade community, continue to hang on. We're going to be just fine here. We just got to wait for right opportunities, right? And you can't force a trade, so that's the reason why I haven't taken a trade in a few days. Yes, it sucks. It sucks to wait on the sidelines, but that's kind of part of the game here, right? Especially when these whales and manipulators, market movers are changing the market in every single direction they see fit. I mean, these two candles back here, almost a 5% correction up and down within about 15 minutes. So it's just kind of garbage right now. So unless you're day trading, which we do have a good day trade signals available. By the way, we just went live on that last week. Really, really cool feature there with our Premium Plus. So be sure to check that out. We're still making profits on those, but small gains, wins the race, right? Small gains every single day. You can't be afraid to take profit. That said, on the hourly, let's go ahead and take a look at some other things here as well. TD sequential isn't telling us too much. We hit an overextended state previously, but we hit an 8 here up to a 6 and a 5. Like, we're really not seeing a lot of momentous swings. Now, again, keep in mind that was mostly weekend data. Not a lot goes on. There's a lot of volatility with less volume, but for lack of better terms, we're not in a fantastic situation here. So to me, ultimately, with what we see here, the hourly and the 4-hour are looking slightly, and I want to emphasize this, slightly bullish, but the daily looks extremely bearish. And until we can get back up above this initial descending trend, we don't really have much of a leg to stand on. And we're going to have a strong push to that 26.5 mark in order to be able to even have a chance to break through that, right? So just keep in mind, even if the price comes up here to 26.5, it could very well reject and come back down. But profit targets should be in the 26.4, 26.3 range, just to ensure you can get filled before the price rejects if it were to. Okay, so good consideration there. Definitely something I like to teach my Trading Academy. That's all part of the membership too, if you want to consider that. So again, help us grow our Twitter community. Just kind of a quick, I guess, consideration here for you. I know it seems very small, but that's exactly what it is. Basically, we had to start completely over because unfortunately there's a lot of fraudulent, people out there that just continue to mimic us, and unfortunately Twitter shut everything down. So good news is here, we can start off fresh here and nice. Our Telegram is also equally as beneficial, so be sure to check that out. All the links are down below if you just want to stay abreast. Our Telegram is basically the same version as Twitter, just for Telegram. So it's really nice to be able to have that. So be sure to check that out. Really good fundamental technical data. But for the moment, right now, at this point, greatly appreciate you watching. Hope you can be safe and sound out there. Just be patient and try to wait for a good opportunity. We'll have some soon. I'm confident that we're starting to compress a little bit there, but there's nothing super telling us it's going to go either direction. It does seem more likely to go up based on our micro, but the macro is not looking great either, right? So you make the decision. Just make sure you always use your risk tolerance. Trust, don't trust everybody out there. Make sure you make your own decision. Trust yourself in your decision, right? It's important to take ownership of your own trades. All right. Hope that makes sense. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.